The truth is that over 60 to 65% of containerized cargo that arrive Lagos today end in Onitsha and Aba. And these cargoes, let us take a hypothesis. Let's say it's 5 million containers that arrive and is destined for Southeast. What that translates to is 10 million trailers being on our roads.
That was the former managing director of the Inland Waterways Authority of Nigeria, telling us how Southeast is dominating the imports business of Nigeria, and that over 60 to 65% of the containerized cargoes that come to Nigeria through Lagos port ends up in Onitsha or Aba. Now, if 60 to 65 goes to Southeast, it means that the rest of Nigeria are sharing 35%. And he talked about the fact that these cargoes and the trailers that move them from Lagos to Aba or Onitsha literally are up to 10 million in terms of their movement, okay? If you have 5 million containers, and that does a lot of damage to the roads, and that adds a lot of cost to the imported goods. For a region that is dominant in the importation business to the level of 65%, they ought to have a port. So why are there no functional port in the Southeast? I've heard people say the Southeast governors should develop their own ports, that they are to blame. But I think that the larger part of it is that there is no political will by the federal government of Nigeria to develop the Southeast port, particularly in Southeast. And even the neighbors of Southeast, the federal government is not ready to develop ports because they don't want competition with Lagos ports. That is the gospel truth from what I have seen. And then there are laws that are hindering the development of port in the Southeast. And that is why the marginalization of Southeast is away, and that is why the call for true federalism will not end, and the amendment of the Constitution for each part of Nigeria to be able to control their resources and develop it whichever way they want. Until that is achieved, Nigeria will continue to lag behind other nations in development. And now that brings me to the issue of those who say that Southeast, they don't want to develop port. They should develop port in the Southeast. And there are also those who are claiming that Southeast is landlocked. Southeast is not landlocked. Let me repeat it again. Southeast is not landlocked. In May 2023, former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo kicked off the hydraulic survey of Oguta River Port to expand it so that Oguta River Port will have access to the Atlantic Ocean. Oguta River Port has access to the Atlantic Ocean. So if you have a river that has access to the Atlantic Ocean, you are not landlocked. And it is believed that it's one of the best deep sea ports you can develop if you develop the Oguta River port. Now, Professor Yemi Osinbajo in May 2023 kicked off that project in Imo State with Governor Hope Uzodinma, saying that that is going to generate nothing less than 2 million jobs. And if you develop it was calculated, according to Yemi Osinbajo himself, that if it is developed, it can be able to take 35% of the maritime activities of maritime business of Nigeria. Okay, so you can see the potential there. 6.1 billion naira was budgeted for that project. I was told 6.1 billion naira was budgeted for that project. That project has passed now over 50% completion rate, but it has been abandoned. Hope Uzodinma does not talk about it anymore. Federal government of Nigeria does not talk about it anymore. Whether because of the timing that it was done, whether it was a campaign gimmick, I may not know. But the truth of the matter was that Southeast is not landlocked. That Oguta River port is viable. If it is not viable, it would not have been in the agenda in the first place. And let me also say that Uzodinma was not the first Igbo governor that thought about it. The first Igbo governor to talk about this Oguta River development was Hakim. Thank God I didn't forget his name. I was about to have difficulty. Dr. Hakim was the one who started the idea after he did commissioned a study that showed that port river had access to the Atlantic Ocean and had been used even during the slave trade. So that was what quashed that notion that Southeast is landlocked. It's not like it has access to the sea. Now the thing has reached over 50% or thereabout completion. APC government has abandoned it. Hope Uzodinma that raised a lot of hope at that time has abandoned it. It's not. You don't talk about it anymore. Nobody talks about the 2 million jobs they say it will generate. Okay, but when I try to find out, especially with the notion that it is the fault of the governors. The governors have a blame anyway, but there are laws that makes it difficult for you to do it without the support from Abuja. So when people say, okay, look at the Lagos, they are developing private port, it's because they have federal government support. If Southeast has federal government support, there will be a port in Southeast. More than one port in Southeast. Even in Abia State, you have a port. Look at the Akwa Ibom governor, the Ibom seaport, deep seaport. He has been crying because it has been abandoned. It's one of the reasons he was given that they want to join the APC. Okay. That Ibom Port ought to have been developed. Because if you develop Ibom Port, you are now decongesting Lagos Port. But Governor Eno himself said that no state can develop ports on their own. Because I have seen if the detractors of people of Southeast to go on social media and be commenting who stopped them from developing the ports in their area. It is the federal government and the laws. And these are some of the laws that are working against Southeast. The legal frameworks for developing port in Nigeria. Now, if you look at under the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria as amended, items on the exclusive legislative list, second schedule part 1, include maritime shipping and navigation, which encompasses seaports, harbors, and related infrastructure. This means the federal government has sole authority to legislate, regulate, and oversee major ports projects. He said that states have power under the concurrent list for some inland waterways or minor jetties, but deep sea or major river ports, like those proposed for Southeast, require federal involvement. Requires federal involvement. Now, this answers to those of them who are Agbado commentators on social media who say, oh, Southeast, why don't they develop it? Look at what is happening in Lagos. They are developing some private sector partnering with Lagos government and all that because federal government is in support. If you are in doubt, look at what is happening to the river port in Oguta. Why was it abandoned? And why is Hope Uzodinma no longer talking about it? Because after all, in 2023, when Yemi Osinbajo kicked off the port project, he was an APC vice president. APC is still in charge. It's not as if it's another party that took over in 2023. Why was the port abandoned? Because there is no political will by the federal government of Nigeria, of the APC, to carry out that project. And you can't go further without federal government on that. Now, even beyond that, there are other bottlenecks that, if you look at the Nigerian Ports Authority Act, which is the primary law regulating ports, the NPA as a federal agency under the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy has exclusive powers to develop, operate, maintain and license ports, section 2, 8 and 30. It can enter into public-private partnerships or agreement with states or private entities for port construction, section 8.1. But states cannot initiate or build major ports independently without NPA approval and oversight. My friend, that is where they hold Southeast hostage. That is why it is difficult for ports to operate, to be established in the Southeast. This is a classic case of federal marginalization. If you are in doubt, let them complete the Imo own. Imo State is the APC state. Governor Uzodinma is APC governor. What is stopping Bola Ahmed Tinubu to complete the river port in Oguta that will control 35% of maritime activity, trade activity in Nigeria if developed, according to the study, which Yemi Osinbajo confessed in his statement while kicking off that project. That is why, whether we like it or not, only a new Nigeria can save Southeast, or a restructured Nigeria. That's my take. I don't know what to think about what is going on in the Southeast, and the fact that this is the epicenter of Nigeria's import and even export, if you like. Because if you are talking about manufacturing, small-scale manufacturing, I don't think there is anybody, any zone that can beat Southeast in small-scale manufacturing, in big-time manufacturing. They are in it indigenously doing it. If you go to Landlocked refinery, it has so many Indians and people from outside Nigeria who are manning the key things. But go to Newi, go to Aba, go to Onitsha, and you'll see Nigerians, your fellow Nigerians, who are doing incredible things, and they are also exporting it. That zone deserves to have a port. If there is any zone in Nigeria that deserves to have a port, that will be viable, that will be sustainable, that is Southeast. That's my take. I don't know what you think about this, but whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless your heroes.